Hello, welcome. I am Shady from SciWeather, and here's all your information you need to know about today's active weather. Alright, taking a look at the SPC outlook right now, we do have a slight risk for areas in the Oklahoma, Arkansas regions, and a marginal for people in the areas that include the Oklahoma, Arkansas, and some of the Tennessee areas into the most northern Texas areas right now. We'll go ahead and take a look here at our tornado parameters. We do have a tiny bit of a 5% out for Adia, Oklahoma, and a 5%, 2% out there for portions of Sherman, Texas, Texarkana, Texas, Texarkana, Arkansas area, Cheyenne, Oklahoma, and Paris, Texas. We do have a wind risk for 5% out for Memphis, Tennessee, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Little Rock, Arkansas, and Norman, Oklahoma. We also do have a hail risk out for Tulsa, Oklahoma, Little Rock, Arkansas, Broke Arrow, Oklahoma, Fort Smith, Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas. In North Little Rock, Arkansas, I am sorry. Memphis, Tennessee, and Oklahoma City, Norman, Oklahoma, Edmond, Oklahoma, and Fayetteville, Arkansas. You guys are under 5% for the hail. Alright, taking a look at the radar. Alright, we do have some showers and thunderstorms going on in the southern areas of the United States. I do expect those to move out later on. We do have, continuing going on in a couple hours. We do start to have this line of thunderstorms that does start to, enhance and grow into tomorrow as a little Boeing shape that could have some embedded supercells going on. And this will lead to some possible spin-up tornadoes, damaging wind, and some hail. That will be taking place later on tomorrow. As it goes forward, it starts to really strengthen, then it dissipates, and then it will start to really strengthen up as there's going to be a next severe weather event that will be taking place later this week that we will get. Now we'll be taking a look real quick at the Cape. Showing the Cape right now, about 24 hours out, it really isn't that impressive. There's some areas where it's like at least 15,000 Cape. And there is also some areas down here in Texas that there is Cape all the way up to, in some areas, 2,000 to 3,000, which is very impressive. And then over here tomorrow with this risk, there's Cape over here that could be up to almost 4,000 Cape. That is very concerning for these supercells that take place, because you don't need a lot of Cape to go and to initiate these supercells. So I really do think it's going to be a somewhat, non-severe when it comes to, outbreak-wise. But so basically this is going to be a very, very long tract Cape-wise. There's tons of Cape in the atmosphere. Alright, now taking a look at the supercell composite, we do have a significant amount that does start to really take place into some of the central Texas, and this is gonna start to really take place into the Oklahoma into overnight. You just gotta watch out for these areas right here. You really gotta watch out for, as there is gonna be a lot of supercell composite that could be taking place in those areas. And as we move on a couple more hours, you can see that there is a massive amount of supercell composite all the way in the reds that's indicating at least into the tens, and also some of the higher up as we go on. It does start to very much increase, and it will start to be possibly into the 15s on supercell composite, and then it'll decrease over time. So now let's go ahead and take a look at our tornado parameter. So the tornado parameter right now is pretty much low, but it does really start to take place as this is the start of that squall line that starts to take place. And this is indicating that there is some tornado parameters up to 2 to 3, and possibly some areas could be getting up to 4 on the tornado parameter. And as you can watch as this goes on, it really starts to show that there is some tornado parameters all the way up to the 6 areas. So this is going to be very concerning for some of these areas as it is going to be taking place. Now we'll be going over and looking at our wind gusts. The wind gust isn't as concerning as you know, earlier this month, and we had the Derecho event, and it really isn't as bad, but there is some wind, heavy gusting wind going on over here in the Oklahoma City area with 35 miles an hour going on, and there is some areas that could be seeing up to 40 miles an hour on the wind gust. So make sure you have all your lawn chairs in and stored just in case this does start to happen. And you can see it really starts to, ramp up as there is this big pocket in central Texas that starts to take place with tons of wind gusts that starts to take place all the way up into the 40s right now. Alright, now that everyone has been waiting for is the snow. As you can see into the mountain regions of California, we do have some heavy amounts of snow going on that is taking place. So we do have some lingering heavy bands of snow and snow showers going on into Oregon. And you can see this big old line back in this area of Oregon is going to be taking place with some pockets of ice and possibly some heavy snow that would reduce visibility very much. So now we'll be taking a look, a couple more scans. As you can see, it really starts to, stay in place in the mountain regions. In the mountain regions of Oklahoma, you guys are getting plummeted with a lot of snow taking place, and this is going to lead to several feet of snow that's going to be taking place in that area. You can see it really starts to dissipate, but there is some potential of a slowing down on the snow and possibly some rain starting to take over as it starts to melt. So let's go ahead and take a real quick look at some of the snowfall totals, and we're looking over here and we see that there is some up to 6 to 7 to maybe in areas of 9 inches. You can see as this starts to really ramp up, you can see that there is areas in the mountain regions that are seeing anywhere from 3 to 5 feet of snow going on, and this is very concerning as it's going to be very dangerous. So you can see in Oregon, you guys are seeing anywhere from 22 27 inches, which indicates that there is up to 1 to 3 feet of snow. So very dangerous conditions that are continuing as the night and day goes on, and you see it really start to dissipate as there is some rain that will dry it out. So real quick, I do want to take a look at the wind gust on this part because it is very concerning. In a couple scans, you can see that there is wind gusts anywhere from 45 miles an hour that indicates that there's going to be some blowing snow and some very hazardous conditions. That's something we got to look out for. Alright, now taking a look at the temps right now, there is some fairly cool temps going on over here in the central United States with temps anywhere from 42s to 50 and anywhere from 60s going on. You can see that it is going to dramatically change as the day goes on. You can see that in Northern California, you guys are not getting any actual stickage of the snow because your temps are all the way from 55 to 59 right now, but that mountain region is getting a lot of snow due to its lower temps and the ground is going to be much more cold. So, let's go ahead and take a look over here into the overnight hours. We can see the minimum temps right now are going to be anywhere from 17 to 10 to 18 in some areas in the Idaho and Montana regions. And you can see that there is going to be some sort of Arctic blast that's going to take place later on this week. As you can see, there is this ridge that separates the cold from the warm. You can see it's very, very cold, and it is going to start to stick around as tomorrow's max temps are anywhere from 80 to 85, in some areas 90 degrees. This is very warm for Texas, so enjoy the warm weather as you can. You can see that there is that ridge. It really starts to take place, bringing that warm here. You can see that there is some warm going on here, and then it's going to be cold here. That starts to really take place, and it's up anywhere from the 30s to 40s in some areas and very, very low 20s. So taking a look tomorrow about the minimum temps, you can see that the minimum temps right now, if it loads, waiting. So you can see that the minimum temps are going to be anywhere from single digits, anywhere from 8 degrees and possibly some 2 Fahrenheit in Montana. That is very cold for that area, and it is very, very concerning that there's possibly could be anywhere from negative temperatures as it goes on. So taking a look at tomorrow's max temps, it is very warm into the California areas as you guys are getting 62 degrees, 67, maybe 70s in some areas. So it's going to be very warm, and it's going to help melt that snow, but it's going to lead to some heavy amounts of flooding and possibly some hazardous conditions. So taking a look at tomorrow's minimum temp, this is when it really starts to take place, as there is a massive ridge of cold air that is going to start to take place and is going to start to push down in these areas. Really is going to start to push down into the Ohio regions and the east coast and into some of the Gulf areas. As you can see, 0 degrees, possibly into the negatives in northern Dakota, 3 degrees in northern Dakota, 4 degrees in some of the Montana areas, another 4 degrees, 15, 19, 17 degrees in these areas. So very, very cold conditions that are going to be taking place. And real quick, I do want to go ahead and take a look at our day 4 max temperatures, because I will say it's going to be very warm. So it's going to be very warm for the southern area and the Gulf Coast. But once we keep going farther and farther as the days go on, it's going to be very cold. So this is where that Arctic blast is really starting to take place, as it's going to push this way to the east coast and push this way to the central United States, and it's going to be very, very cold. So real quick, I'm going to go ahead and look at the day 4 minimum temps and see, look at that. That is very, very cold. As you can see, there isn't as much warm temperatures as is very, an Arctic blast that will be taking place down in these areas, anywhere from the teens to anywhere from possibly 24 degrees, anywhere from the 20s. And you can see that Texas is getting hit hard with the 38 degrees, 42, and Oklahoma is getting plummeted with 33 degrees and 31. So very, very cold start as it's going to go on tomorrow. Alright guys, thank you all for watching. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to yesterday's video. Thank you all for, sharing that and sharing that with anyone in the path. Let's try to get this video up to 10 likes today, as we can get this out to anyone in the path. Make sure to, listen to your local radio. That they can provide very good information, and listen to your local news. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment on the video what y'all think is going to happen, and tell us how much you guys got in snow-wise in California. Thank you all for watching. I'm Shady from SciWeather. Goodbye.